Never judge someone by their clothes because you might just miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Sarah Martinez learned this the hard way when she almost insulted what looked like a homeless man at her food truck window. Picture this. It's a rainy Tuesday evening in downtown Seattle. The streets are nearly empty except for a few office workers rushing home and the occasional homeless person seeking shelter. Sarah's running her small taco truck called Abuela's Kitchen, the same spot she's been working for 3 years. Barely making enough to pay rent and keep her dreams alive. Business has been slow. Really slow. The pandemic hit food trucks harder than most people realize. While restaurants could pivot to delivery, food trucks lost their main customers, office workers and event crowds. Sarah's been struggling to keep her truck running, working 16-hour days just to break even. She's got bills piling up, equipment breaking down, and honestly, she's been thinking about giving up on her dream. So when this disheveled man approaches her window that evening, wearing torn jeans, a wrinkled hoodie, and smelling like he hadn't showered in days, Sarah's first instinct wasn't exactly welcoming. The man looked rough around the edges, messy hair, stubble, and clothes that had definitely seen better days. In her mind, this was probably someone who'd ask for free food or cause trouble. "What do you want?" Sarah asked, not trying to hide her irritation. She'd had a long day, made maybe $50, and the last thing she needed was someone wasting her time. The man smiled softly and said, "Just 3 tacos, please. Whatever you recommend." Now here's where it gets interesting. Something about his voice was different, calm, polite, not what Sarah expected. But she was still annoyed and just wanted to get through the order quickly. She made 3 basic tacos. Nothing fancy, just meat, onions, cilantro. Standard stuff. As she handed over the paper bag, the man pulled out a crisp $100 bill. Sarah stared at it for a second, confused. Most homeless people don't carry hundreds. But she took it anyway, started making change. "Keep it," the man said quietly. Sarah's attitude shifted slightly. $100 tip. That was more than she'd made all day. But she was still suspicious. Maybe the bill was fake or stolen, or this was some kind of setup. "Thanks, I guess," she muttered, still not making eye contact. The man took a bite of his taco and nodded approvingly. "This is really good. Reminds me of this place I used to go to in Mexico City." He paused, looking around at her truck setup. "How long have you been running this business?" Sarah found herself answering despite her guard being up. 3 years. Well, trying to anyway. Trying to? She let her frustration spill out. Business was terrible. Equipment kept breaking. She couldn't afford marketing. Food costs were going up, but she couldn't raise prices because customers would just go somewhere else. She was basically one bad week away from losing everything. The man listened carefully, asking thoughtful questions. How many customers did she serve daily? What were her biggest expenses? Did she ever think about expanding? Sarah found herself opening up more than she intended. There was something about this stranger that made her feel comfortable sharing her struggles. After finishing his tacos, the man reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. Sarah noticed it was the latest iPhone. Not exactly what she'd expect from someone dressed like him. He showed her the screen. "I'd like to help with your business," he said. Sarah looked at the phone and nearly dropped it. The screen showed a bank account with more zeros than she'd ever seen in her life. 8 figures. Just sitting there like it was nothing. Her heart started racing. "Who are you?" The man smiled and said 3 simple words that changed Sarah's life forever. "I'm Marcus Wilson." If you don't know who Marcus Wilson is, he's one of Seattle's most successful tech entrepreneurs. Started his first company at 19, sold it for $50 million by 25, and now owns a venture capital firm worth over $2 billion. He's also famous for something else. Going undercover to find small businesses to invest in. Sarah's jaw dropped. She'd heard about Marcus Wilson but never seen his picture. The man standing in front of her food truck, looking like he'd slept on the streets, was worth more money than she could comprehend. "I do this about once a month," Marcus explained. "I dress down and walk around the city looking for businesses that have potential but need help. Most people treat me pretty badly when I look like this. You weren't exactly friendly either, but your food is incredible. And your passion? I can see it even when you're frustrated." Sarah couldn't believe what was happening. This billionaire had just stumbled upon her failing food truck and wanted to help. "Here's what I'm thinking," Marcus continued. "Your recipes are amazing. Your work ethic is obvious. but you're struggling with the business side. What if I told you I could help you turn this single food truck into a chain of restaurants? Over the next hour, Marcus laid out a plan that sounded like something from a movie. He'd provide initial funding of $500,000 to help Sarah open her first brick-and-mortar location. He'd connect her with his network of business advisors, marketing experts, and restaurant consultants. Most importantly, he'd take only a small percentage of ownership, much less than typical investors. Why? Sarah asked. Why would you do this for someone you just met? Marcus's answer was simple but powerful. Because I've eaten at hundreds of high-end restaurants, and this is some of the best food I've ever tasted. Because you're working harder than most CEOs I know. And because everyone deserves a shot when they have this much talent. But Marcus had one condition. Sarah had to promise that when her restaurant chain became successful, she'd do the same thing he was doing. Find small businesses struggling to make it and give them a chance. Pay it forward, he said. That's how we change the world. 6 months later, Sarah opened her first restaurant in downtown Seattle. The line wrapped around the block on opening day. Food bloggers called it the best Mexican food in the city. Within a year, she opened 2 more locations. Today, 3 years later, Abuela's Kitchen has 12 restaurants across Washington State and is expanding into California. Sarah kept her promise to Marcus. She now has a program where she mentors food truck owners and provides small loans to help them grow their businesses. She's helped over 30 food entrepreneurs get started. The craziest part? Marcus Wilson still stops by her original food truck location sometimes, still dressed in old clothes, just to see how she's doing. And Sarah always gives him the same 3 tacos that started it all. This story isn't just about luck or being in the right place at the right time. It's about recognizing that opportunities can come from the most unexpected places and people. Sarah almost missed out on changing her entire life because she judged someone by their appearance. Think about your own life. How many times have you made assumptions about people based on how they look or dress? How many potential mentors, friends, or opportunities might you have missed because of first impressions? Marcus Wilson's approach to finding investments is brilliant because it reveals people's true character. When you think someone can't help you, you show who you really are. Sarah may not have been initially friendly, but her passion for her food and her honest answers about her struggles showed Marcus everything he needed to know. The lesson here isn't that every person in old clothes is secretly a billionaire. That would be ridiculous. The lesson is that treating everyone with basic respect and dignity costs nothing, but could change everything. Sarah's story spread quickly on social media after a local news station picked it up. Suddenly, everyone wanted to eat at the place where the billionaire discovered amazing tacos. But more importantly, it inspired other successful people to start looking for small businesses they could help. Sometimes the best opportunities come disguised as ordinary moments. That random customer, that unexpected conversation, that person who doesn't look like they belong in your world. Any of them could be the key to your next breakthrough. So next time someone approaches your business, your life, or your world, remember Sarah's story. You never know who might be standing on the other side of that window. Watch this next video to see more incredible stories of successful people going undercover to change lives.